Elizondo gives us an update on his book release and a whole lot more. It's time for another UFO News Roundup, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, yeah, there was some rumor the other day about Lue's book and its release date, and that information was incorrect. So Lue is giving us the correct information, which unfortunately is very little information. Hey all, just an FYI, there is no publication date set for my book yet, and the title is not yet decided, regardless of what you read online. We are hard at work. It's a process. When there is a pub date and title, I will announce it. That said, I sincerely appreciate your excitement for the book. We'll let you know when there is news to share. Well, we're all on the edge of our seat, Lue, so I hope you let us know soon. Either way, this book promises to be really fantastic in terms of potential UFO disclosure. I think we're going to get some really juicy nuggets in that book. I'm very excited. Meanwhile, did you know that in November, a Washington Post, Shane Harris confirmed he had spoken to half a dozen sources who claimed to have knowledge of U.A.P. reverse engineering program. What?
They want to talk to me because they know what I've covered. In the past 6 or 7 months, I've probably interviewed about half a dozen people who claim to have knowledge of a reverse engineering program of crashed material or artifacts or craft, however you want to call it. Mm-hmm. That is something I actively talk to people about. We have not published anything about that yet, but I am looking into it. I spend a lot of my time looking into things. I probably publish in general about information about 10% of what I talk to people about.
So are these witnesses that he talked to and these participants in these programs, are they some of David Grush's 40-plus witnesses? Or are they new individuals? Does this kind of indicate a loosening up of information within the UFO control group, at least among the pro-disclosure elements? Because that does seem to be going on. For example, in the Mike Carrera case, it seems like there is a pro-disclosure faction that really wants information to get out there. And so they are talking to reporters, they're talking to investigators, they're inviting certain people in to see some of what they are doing, even disclosing some of the dark stuff like Mike Herrera talks about. So, a fascinating time, guys, a fascinating time. Meanwhile, Senator Gillibrand met with U.S. Air Force Lockheed Martin in Northrop Grumman yesterday in Nevada. What? That's insane. Now, of course, that may have had nothing to do with UFOs, but it may have had everything to do with UFOs. Meanwhile, James Corsetti reminds us that in March 1967, the CIA conducted scientific research surveillance over the Rishat structure. 57 years later, portions of these documents are still classified. And of course, Jimmy believes that the Rishat structure was Atlantis, or the capital city of Atlantis. I don't know if I quite am on board with that, but he does have some compelling evidence for that. Either way, apparently the CIA was really intrigued by this structure, and what they studied about it is still classified. Meanwhile, Grant Levac says, breaking, the Australian Defence Intelligence Organization likely attended AARO's Five Eyes Forum on UAP back in May. The statement of reasons I received in response to my FOIA request confirms that the document identified as matching the scope of my request was released due to Exemption 72A of the FOIA Act, refer attached. Based on this information, we can conclude with a high degree of confidence that a representative from the Defense Intelligence Organization, which is exempt from FOIA, attended the U.S.-led Five Eyes Forum on UAP. So really intriguing. I've been covering Australia lately and how they are covering up UFOs just as much as anybody. And of course, the reason why is pretty apparent because they're part of it, right? They're attending the Five Eyes Forum. Of course, it seems to go beyond the Five Eyes, group. as we've seen in the Lance Corporal Weigand case, even China was involved back in the 90s. So, yeah, this is a multinational group, not restricted to the Five Eyes, but I guess the Five Eyes may be a core part of it. But either way, Australia, it does seem to be part of it, and they are keeping secrets. Meanwhile, a cool UFO video captured off the Texas coast.
We're either being surrounded by friggin' UFOs or the Coast Guard. If I want us in, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 lights we see there. They've been coming on, they were 7 lights. Oh, this is a big help.
Okay, I'm getting seasick looking at that footage, but yeah, I think this is probably a genuine capture of anomalous objects. Meanwhile, Tim Clark has a theory about solar flares in UFOs, and he hasn't said this, but I wonder if, maybe a possible theory for the solar flare that may have put out a bunch of cell phones out of commission could have been related to UFOs. I don't know. I mean, I'm just building that idea out of what Tim says. He believes that maybe the UFO that I showed the other day that originally came from him that was interacting with the sun may have caused a solar flare. And yeah, check this out. I'm sorry to show it in this format from my Facebook thing, but I don't know how to expand these videos in Facebook. So I just have to show this page. I don't even know how to download a video in Facebook. Yeah, I would download this video and blow it up for you. But there you go, Tim Clark showing how this UFO may have been interacting with the sun and may have even caused some sort of solar event. So when we see solar events that knock out cell phones, could that be UFO related? Now that's obviously just a huge conjecture right there and highly, conspiratorial, and it's just not even a real solid hypothesis. It's just an idea I'm putting out there, guys. Just an idea. Meanwhile, Project Unity says, I still can't get over how redacted Antarctica is on Google Earth. In fact, I think it's getting worse. The small amount that is clear is primarily made of heavily patchwork mosaics, and then the rest is just a blur with some select parts extra blurred or whited out. And yeah, you can totally see what he's talking about there. It's just, it's all a bunch of, mosaics of redacted stuff. So, what the hell is going on in Antarctica? Definitely something is going on there. It's not nothing. It's not nothing, guys. There's a lot, and talking about conspiracy theories, there's a lot of conspiracy theories about Antarctica. I don't know which ones are right and which ones are wrong. What's disinformation and what's not disinformation. But there is some there. Probably some pretty big there. Meanwhile, a guy meditating on a mountain. Feel more enlightened just having seen that. Meanwhile, check out this interesting possible Bigfoot video. This is really interesting. It's a very large being that we are about to see. And yeah, you can. I'll let you read the text here if you can see it around my big head. But check this being out. Now, the interesting thing about this is that there is a zoom in and a blow up that we're going to check out where you can see this being's face. Okay. So, obviously something large. Now I think a human could move that little tree that we're seeing, but look at the apparent size of this thing. That looks too big to be any guy in a suit. Maybe just a really big suit. Possible. Totally possible. There's so many hoaxes and so much BS out there. But it doesn't appear to be CGI. To me, it looks authentic. At least there's a real thing there. But there you go. It's kind of looking at us, right? It's looking right at the camera. Looking right at the camera. And people have zoomed in and blown that up. So we are going to go to the face on that. Okay, here is the zoom in on that. It looks like a guy with a beard with a human face and a big furry hat and a big suit. So my first inclination is just to think this is total BS and a total fake. But again, look at the size of this guy. I mean, he's big, guys. He's a big fella. He's a big fella. You know, but it does. That face looks so human. So when I pointed this out to the person that posted this, this is what he sent. He sent an old Art Bell video, and at the 1:20 mark, an hour and 20-minute mark, Art describes a hunter taking down a Bigfoot and burying it because the face looked so eerily human. The difference was in the face, which looked like a cross between a human and an ape. Now, the one that we just saw looked distinctly human, but wearing a big suit. So on the one hand, I really want to debunk that video, but on the other, that thing was big. Also, check out this UFO video from Uruguay. This is, I believe, from 1994. CGI not so advanced back then. Not much in the way of CGI in 1994. So, is this legit? Is that legit, guys? Is that just a beautiful video or of a flying saucer, of a classic flying saucer? It's got the nodules on the bottom like Bob Lazar talks about. He even talked about how they worked. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. But let me know what you think. Last but not least, I'm going to be conducting an interview with Steve Bassett next week, I believe on Wednesday, and hopefully I'll have that for you either the following day or the weekend, whenever I can squeeze that in. So let me know what questions you have for Steve for the interview. I'd love to get your insights and your thoughts on how best to approach Steve and what best information to bring forward. So let me know what you think. Of course, Steve probably has his own thoughts about what he wants to bring forward as well, and I really look forward to hearing what he has to say. Let's give a little listen to some of the things that he's been saying recently.
Just happened, and again, this is the chess move. Chuck Schumer, in that move, forced the defense contractors and others to finally come out of cover to gut that bill. They had to do it. And when they came out of cover, what just happened? The entire defense contractor cordon of defense contractors that build our aircraft carriers and our F-17 fighters and deal with ET tech just confirmed that they have ET tech. Because if they don't have ET tech, you don't care about the eminent domain bill. Right. They have confirmed it. So who hasn't confirmed we have ET tech now? Schumer's confirmed it. Grush has confirmed it. The IG has confirmed it. And now the defense contractors have confirmed it. And then, which makes it a little easier maybe to hold that Intel committee hearing, right?
Right.
And so guess what happens? If they hold the Intel committee hearing and bring the Grush forward and Robert Salas and the other nuclear weapons tampering turn-off witnesses, some of which are still alive and have been trying to get in front of a committee for 30 years and have been ignored, he gets them, Bob Jacobs, and God, there's so many. There's so many we can't service them all.
Steve,
once that hearing
so
happens...
The one that you were referring to, real quick, that for people who don't know, that was the one that happened in the late 60s?
Oh, but this is in the 60s when the nuclear weapons were turned off.
Yeah.
There are SAC base officers still alive that were there when it happened, and they want to testify. But they've had to be ignored. So when that hearing takes place, that opens the door for President Biden, who happens to be the president. It's not a political thing.
Right.
He happened to be the president when the music stopped, so he gets to disclose, okay?
Okay, will Biden disclose? I don't know. But, like Steve says, the music may have stopped, and it may be the president's turn, whoever he is or her or she is, to come forward to announce the presence of UFOs on Earth. I love it, and I look forward to the interview with Steve. Again, let me know what questions you have for him, and let me know what you think about everything else covered today in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, links below. Love to see you guys there. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in an even bigger way, consider grabbing a Cosmic Road t-shirt or coffee mug in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Channel members also frequently get to see videos hours ahead of everybody else. Word to the wise. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with the Cosmic Road, signing out.